tired by now, is that right? Or are you guys still awake? You're good? Full of energy? I have to say this has been one of my favorite revolves of this run. You girls have so much energy. Thank you. I love it. I don't have as much energy as I used to because of this belly here, this baby in here. And so when we came out for our show, it was like, you girls are going crazy, and we love it. We love the energy that y'all have. This has been one of our favorite times, so thank y'all. Give it up for yourself. And have you enjoyed all the other speakers and singing and worship and all that so far? Have you girls enjoyed it? Good. Well, I've enjoyed being able to share today with you. I want to talk to you girls today on a couple different things. Mainly on your dreams, as I just kind of look out here and see your faces. And I know I kind of kept saying this in the show, but I just want you girls to know how much we believe in you. And this is why we do Revolve, is for you girls. It's not for the stage or for the big screen or for the gold sparkling microphone, although it's pretty awesome. No, it's for you girls. And you know, even as I was just praying about today and sharing with you girls, I felt like God was even saying, you know, don't focus so much on each point, but focus on you guys and on what it is that you need to hear. So I just pray that for this next 20 minutes, that your ears are open and that your heart is open and that you're attentive and that you're excited to hear what else that God has to say to you, because I think each person today has brought something really, really special. And this is kind of the last thing we want to say to you before we finish out with an amazing concert by, I don't know if you know who's coming up later, but you probably do. They're awesome. I don't want to give it away, but you probably already know who it is. So, anyways, I'm excited. Big fan. Oh my gosh. I didn't want them to know, but hopefully they're not back there. Anyways. Okay. So I want to talk to you girls today on your dreams and on knowing that God does have a plan for your life, that you weren't just made for just the normal. And you know, when you were a little girl and someone came up to you and said, what is it that you want to do? You didn't say, well, I don't know. I'm just not really that good at anything. And so I'm just going to settle, and I probably won't do much with my life. Did anybody say that when you were a little girl and someone asked you what you wanted to be? Anybody in here? No, right? Nobody said that. We said, oh, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a singer, or I want to hold a gold sparkling microphone. I'm just kidding. No, you're like, you had these dreams. I want to do this. I want to be a missionary. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a soccer player. We had these dreams and these things that we wanted to do, but as you get older and you experience life and different things happen in your life, you start to believe things that aren't true. You start to believe all the things we've talked about today, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, or that, maybe you feel like, I don't want to put forth the work, I'm just going to be normal and I just want to settle and I don't want to really do anything. But that's not what God has for you. He says in his word that he came to give you life and life more abundantly, that he came to give you more. And that's what we kept saying backstage, me and all the other girls. We come out here and we sing and talk to you girls, and then we kind of go backstage and we talk about, how's it going out there? How are the girls? How's the event? And the one word we kept saying is that you girls, it felt like that all throughout today, that God just wants to give you more and more and more and more. And that's why I want to tell you, even for this next 15 minutes, to listen, to pay attention, because God is not done and there is more. And what's exciting is we can see it on your faces, that you are like, we want more. You weren't like, oh, we're tired, we want to go home. You girls are excited to be here. You want to be here. You want to hear what God has to say to you. And that kind of makes us just get even more excited and pour out into you. So hopefully you've already got a lot of truth and a lot of revelation and a lot of understanding of who you are and what God has for you. But hopefully just in this next little bit, God can even just give you just a little bit more. And really what I want to do in this next 15 minutes is just encourage you girls that you were made for more. That you weren't made just to be someone sitting in the corner, hiding away, who says, I can't do anything. You were made for so much. And what I hope that you can do is leave this place with your head held high and with a dream and a vision in your heart. And maybe you're here today and you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do, and that's okay. I didn't always know that I wanted to do music. I didn't plan on being an artist. I loved dance growing up. I did love singing, but I didn't know that this is what I was going to do. But God began to lead me and show me. And as I talked about earlier, there was a moment in my life when God said, Britt, you've given me part of your heart, but you haven't given me everything, and I want everything. Okay, that was a moment for me, a special, divine moment where I had a choice to make. Okay, today might be your moment. Maybe you've already had that moment. Maybe when Krista was out here, you made that choice. You made the decision. You said, yes, me, I want to give it all. I don't want to hold back. God, here is my life. Maybe some of you made that decision. Maybe you're unashamed of that saying. You're like, hey, that's me. I'm right here. I made that choice. But maybe some of you are still, thinking through, I don't know if I want to make that decision. But here's the thing. When you make that choice, I was thinking about this backstage, there's a lot of amazing things that come along with it. You immediately feel that peace and that joy in that life. But there's also decisions to be made, right? I remember when God spoke to me and said, Britt, I want you to give me everything. I think I was 17, yeah. And I remember I was dating a boy at the time. And of course, I thought he was so amazing and so cute. And, well, I didn't really think I was going to marry him. I just thought he was cute for a moment, which is bad. But we all have done that at some point, right? Okay. So, anyways, no, but I remember God saying to me, this is not the person that I have for you. I was 17 years old, and I felt like God saying, in giving me your life, there's a couple decisions you're going to have to make, a couple things that you're going to have to let go of, and you're going to have to step away from and move on. And I think those are kind of the moments when we leave here and we go home and we're like, oh man, okay, I said yes to make this big decision in my life, but now here's where rubber meets the road. Here's where I have to really decide, do I want to let this thing go? And really, we think that we're letting something go and we're sacrificing this big thing, but really God is just going to give you so much more when you do that. So I remember for me, I had to make that choice. I had to make that decision. And as soon as I did, God began to lead me and show me what it was He had for my life. Okay, so in that moment, when I said, okay, God, I'm not going to go to college because I was planning on going to school to study music, and I felt like that's what God had for me because the door was open. But I knew, after God said, this is not, give me your life, I knew, okay, I have to surrender everything. I feel like I'm not supposed to go to college, so decided not to go to school. Was at home, living in a small town in North Carolina, thinking, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a plan, but God began, as I said, to show me, okay? So one of the first things He said to me was, I want you to be faithful in the small. I want you to be faithful where you are. Everybody say faithful in the small. Yes. He said, I want you to be faithful in the small. I want you to be faithful where you are. So He began to, just show me little things. I met some producers, and I started writing songs, and felt like this is where God was leading me. And I always loved people, and I loved that music and that God could change people's life. And that's why I wanted to do music. Because I loved when I would look out in the audience and I would see your girls' faces, that a song or the presence of God and the love of God could make you smile. It could make you cry. It could bring you healing. It could bring you truth, right? So these were all the reasons why I said, okay, God, I want you to use me. And as I said earlier, I had all those moments of, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Y'all felt like that, right? You're like, there's this big dream, and I want to change the world, but I don't know. Look at me, little old me. I don't know if I can do that. And I always say for the young girls, for the moms, for everyone here, it's a message for everyone, because I think that we, as we even grow older and become a mom or a youth pastor, we say, oh, it's for the young girls, it's not for me. But God is, I feel like He's saying to some of you women here today that He's not finished with you. So be encouraged with that and ask the Lord today, what is it, God, that you have for me as a mom, as a youth leader? How do you want to continue to use me? But I feel, that as you're young and you're saying, God, I want to start living out my dream now. As I was 17, we say, God, how do we start? And I felt the Lord say to me, be faithful in the small. So I believe that that's one thing he's saying to you girls, to be faithful in the small. So what does that mean? It means being faithful at school, being faithful in your study, being faithful when God tugs at your heart and says, go talk to that girl at the lunch table. It's being just faithful in something that's little, because when you're faithful in something that's little, God can give you much, right? Okay. Well, there was one day when I was singing at a show, and I saw all these girls, just like y'all, thousands of girls. And I felt like the Lord said, go back to the one. Focus on the one. So I was trying to kind of minister to and speak and sing to all these girls, and I was like, I hope that they are getting the message of the song. And I felt that God said, go back to the one that's standing right in front of you, the one with tears rolling down her face. Go back to that one and speak to her and sing to her. And I think sometimes as you're thinking about your dream and saying, well, I want to be a singer, well, I want to change the world, or I want to be a teacher or a lawyer, I want to do all these amazing things, and you say, but I'm young, how do I start? And a lot of times we think about the big picture of how we're going to make these things come to pass, and God's like, just focus on what's in front of you right now, today, right? So I think, number one, you have to be faithful in the small. 2, you have to go back to the one. 3, you have to have a heart that says yes to God. So when you have opportunities to minister to people, to love on people, you have to say yes to him, yes to his way. And I had that opportunity when I was 17. I could say, I'm going to college, I'm doing my own thing, or I'm saying yes to you, God. And you have to have a heart that says, God, I am choosing to go your path in your direction, and saying yes to him. So everybody say yes to God. Say yes to God. Yeah, it's the best way. Going after God is the best way. And we think sometimes that we want to try and figure it out on our own. We want to go in our own path, in our own direction. And I felt like that when I was 17. I thought, there was a part of me that wanted to give everything up to God, but there was a part of me that kind of just wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to do what Britt wanted to do, but I knew that God's plans were better. And that was a special moment for me, as you've had that moment, some of you already today, to say, God, here's my life. And one of the other things, number 4, is that you don't have to be perfect to be used by